I hope that all of y'all joining me from wherever you're joining me, you guys have an amazing night. We have an amazing guest tonight. So please make sure to bring your questions and make a lot of noise and get it hype. Because tonight we have Guerrero, who has spent 16 years tackling race, politics, and family through stand-up comedy. Che's style is rooted in his experience growing up undocumented, a revolutionary voice on the modern comedy scene. His sense of humor and command of the stage is a result of obstacles often unseen by the average American. He is also the host of the My Undocumented As podcast, an awesome, funny, super awesome creator who I'm very excited to have on here tonight. And without further ado, we are going to bring him on. Che, if you can hear me, it is almost time.
There we go.
Here we go. And without further ado, y'all, I bring to the stage Mr. Che himself. How's it going, brother? How you doing tonight?
Hey, good, man. Good. I was watching the intro, so I realized there was a lag. So I'm like, I wonder when he's gonna introduce me. And I'm like, oh, he's already doing it.
Yeah, man. That's the streaming problems. It's got that lag behind, but I'm glad you could join me, man. Super glad to have you here. I tried to give an introduction as best as I could, but nobody's gonna be able to introduce you better than yourself. So please, let the people know who you are.
Oh man, I think that was pretty good. Sometimes like I know. By the way, I wrote that intro, but you still gave it with such pizzazz that I was like, hey, that sounds interesting. Like you mentioned, I've been doing stand up for myself since I was 18 years old. I actually started doing stand up comedy because I was undocumented, and it was the only job that I could do because it pays cash, and mm-hmm. They don't ask for papers. Mm-hmm. So then I started stand up comedy in New York City. That was really like the biggest thing that I did for a long time. And then when the pandemic hit, like everybody else, I just had to find something else. And making that shift from, the stand-up stage to TikTok was a little awkward at first, but the reception was amazing. Once I started talking about like my experiences growing up and the issues that I have with the immigration system now. And yeah, it's been amazing. And, 2023, some exciting things are happening. So hopefully I can keep going, in that way.
Man, and so for those that don't know, you have a great, amazing platform that you've built on TikTok. You've had great success on there. I just saw the calendar they sent you. I'm like, that's how you know you made it, when they start sending you shit for free. That's dope, man.
Yeah, I gotta tell you though, like no diss to TikTok. Like they're amazing at like sending you stuff, like to show you like, hey, you've been putting in the work. But the thing is that TikTok like collaborates a lot with makeup companies. Uh-huh. So I get a ton of makeup that I just go, here you go, babe. Like I give it to my girlfriend. She goes, I love it.
She's reaping the rewards.
She's getting all the merch.
That's mad funny, man. But still, like I said, that's like something I look forward to. I'm like, man, I can't wait till the day they send me free stuff and I get to go on camera and be like, here it is.
I got a TikTok sweater I wear all the time, like free merch.
Honestly, man, so salute to your success. But I want to ask, so you said you were doing comedy for since you were 18. Before you found that success in TikTok, like, was there any other content creation you were making while you were doing stand-up comedy? Like the My Undocumented Ass podcast, when did that start?
That actually started just about like 4 months ago. So it's really been with the trajectory that I've taken, being more open about like I said, like my status and everything. Unfortunately, before I started doing TikTok, I was very one-track minded. I was like, I was still sold on the old idea that if you do stand-up comedy and you put a good 5 minutes together, then an agent will see you, and if an agent sees you, then they'll ask you to be a writer. Mm-hmm. So I unfortunately was banking hard on stand-up comedy, not really being very smart enough to know the things that were against me, So mm-hmm. I wish that I had been a lot smarter. Like now, like even though TikTok has really given me the ability to to connect with people and grow, I'm already kind of thinking, if TikTok goes away tomorrow, how am I keeping myself afloat? Mm-hmm. So that's what I wish I would have done when I was doing stand-up comedy. Now, but from 18 till about 30, bro, it was just nothing but, I was obsessed, man. I would do 365 shows a year. Like if there was
that's
30,
a show a day.
That was my thing, because in New York City you can do that. So in New York City, like I would do 3 open mics in one night, and then I would take the next night off, and then I'll do 2 open mics. So I make sure what I would call the 30 for 30. You know what I mean? If there was 30 days in the month, I had to make sure I performed 30 times that month. If there was, February was great because I only had to perform
28.
It was the only month I got a break. You know what I mean?
Looking forward to that 1 month, and it's the coldest one too. Damn.
but every other month it was 30. It was my 30 for 30 for almost 10 years. That's how I got comfortable being on stage and talking to people and crafting my jokes, and that's what's interesting now is that like I'm really looking forward to writing. Like that's my big thing. I'm working on a TV show with Eva Longoria's team. Nothing sold, nothing done, just the treatment process and development process. And I realized like, oh my God, I love writing. So that's where I'm hoping that like if anything shifts, I can shift more into the world of writing.
Yeah. I had heard you said, one of the like your dreams would be to like be a correspondent for the Daily Show. Yeah.
That's where like kind of like the breaking news that I do, where I take like, and my main focus on that one is like I take a lot of Latinx, like Latino issues, and make fun of like the crazy white people doing this or whatever.
Yeah.
But I've been a big fan of late night talk shows like since I started stand-up comedy. Like every morning, my girlfriend hates it because like for the first 2 hours of the morning, I'm always running through all the monologues of the late night shows. Like I watch Kimmel, Fallon, Meyer, Colbert, The Daily Show, and then I watch like I hate Bill Maher, but I watch anybody who will do it.
Yeah,
just to see what everybody's doing.
Pick a little part of their style.
Yeah,
see how they doing it.
Mm-hmm. The breaking news, like I always try to deliver it with that. First of all, it's news. Like when you watch it, you're actually gonna learn something, and then the jokes come from like the late night routines that I watch all the time. So if like my dream job, like somebody goes like, "What's your dream job tomorrow?" It would be to, if it's not be a correspondent on the Daily Show, it would at least be a writer on it because I have that political humor that fits well in that genre.
Yeah, man, and the breaking news segments. I think I had heard you say that was like one of your most popular series, right? And they're real combative. I like that shit, man. I like that they're combative because you just, like I was saying a little bit earlier, you look straight into the camera and you just recite it as if it's like a newscast, but it's just so fucking funny, man. And it's always just like, damn, these people exist. These people like, what's the one I saw recently? It was like Jesus wouldn't like immigrants or some shit. It was so funny, man.
Yeah.
So. In terms of, because some of this stuff can get real combative in terms of political tensions, what do you choose and pick like to focus on? Because I imagine some of those creators that you take might also make videos back at you, or like how does that work?
That's actually, God, that's such a good question because that's actually the kind of thing that's stopping TikTok from being fun for me, because whenever like if you ever watch my breaking news, I always have like just 2 rules, right? One is like I'll never tag the person because I don't want them to actually like genuinely like attack the person. I want, whenever I do the jokes, I want even the person I'm making fun of to sort of be able to laugh at it too.
Yeah, of course.
Because making someone laugh is very disarming. So if I can be like, okay, whatever, that's like the first part. It's like make sure that like I don't tag anybody. The second part is I never make fun of somebody's like situation. Like one time, like there was a woman who obviously looked like she was financially struggling, and she was being very racist.
Oh shit.
So I was just sticking to the racism, and everybody in the comments were like, fix your teeth and do this, and I'm like don't, I don't like to do those jokes because like we all can fall into like those kind of hardships that, we're not able to take care of ourselves. So I never make fun of people on their appearance or on their lack of. It's always on, God, I can't believe you think like that. You know what I mean? So the person has to fit a very like, their mindset is what I'm going after.
Yeah.
I'm not going after their looks or their, white people, I'll go after their race all day because, I could do that. But that's what it is. It has to have like, like mostly, like I said, also mostly I like to keep it if they're attacking the Latin community, because sometimes when I talk about like, like a lot of like, like black issues or slavery and things like that, people will be like, that's not really how it went down, or that's not the, full. And I'm like, like I should really stick to, my culture, my people, the things that I'm very knowledgeable on, and not try and like, because sometimes most of these people on TikTok try to act like they're experts on everything, and that's impossible.
Yeah, for sure.
And then when, and I try to be kind like that, but then the thing that I am getting back is like last week, I actually genuinely had a guy who was going to like sue me, for speaking about his business. And that put a little shock, and then somebody started digging into my past and bringing up things that I was like, I wasn't embarrassed by it. I wasn't no way like, oh, but I was like, wow, people will do that, know, and it's kind of like when you're putting yourself out there in that form, you need to be able to take the attacks back. Mm-hmm. And that's where it's very tricky, and where it's like, it's kind of giving me a little icks.
For sure.
TikTok, because I always want to make people laugh. I always, I'm a comedian. I want to make people laugh. But then I realized like for example, like when I was like, like the same thing when I do stand up and there's a heckler in the room, I'm never the kind of comedian to make the heckler feel like shit. I'm the kind of person to be like, hey, let's calm down. Let's be friends. Let me make you laugh. This is my show. But in TikTok world, you don't have that freedom. You put something out there and then it's people literally attacking you, and you can't be like, hey, it's just a joke. I find that's sort of like, I get it. I say something bad, attack me. Yes. Show me. But then for the people go deep.
Yeah.
Find things from the past. I'm like, whoa, now we're getting to a point where you just want to destroy me.
Yeah.
Because you're bored at home.
Yeah, for real. And that's going to happen from a lot of people that don't have the same success as you. They're going to see the attacks, feel personally attacked, even if you're not attacking them personally. Maybe they're part of a group that you're attacking. They're going to feel like it's personal, and they're going to just be like, well, I'm going to use whatever time I have, because I don't have the same time to create the type of content you're creating. I'm going to just go and dig and find whatever I can. And so I'm like, just to try and bring you down back to my level, because, that's how jealousy works. And that's something that, like, when I started seeing your content, I really, really was impressed, man, because, like, a lot of people who are undocumented have to live in the shadows. They feel like they have to remain low key, just live at the margins so that they're not noticed in life. And, because the fear of deportation, fear of going to jail, being sent back to their country. But you kind of wear it as a badge. You know what I'm saying? You like, that's your branding, that's your content, that's like your life story, and you put that out there. And that's kind of been like one of the questions I was gonna ask. Has that ever been like scary for you, putting that all out there?
That's kind of like, wow, you're really asking me a lot of things that have been like really in my heart recently with my content and everything. So here's what I want people to understand. So my whole life, like right now, currently, I do have a green card. However, I am in jeopardy of losing that green card after 2024, and I am facing deportation. So there is absolutely no pathway to citizenship for me with my green card. So that's what I want people to understand.
2024 was just like a date like that was just set, or is that like, is there a reason that it coincides with like that election year?
Oh, it's not like a conspiracy theory. It's just, it's just the expiration date on my card.
Oh, okay. And yeah, that's what I want to know.
Found out something about me. They told me that I can no longer move forward with this, that I might lose it, and that I might get deported. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of like if you're talking about like kind of backlash, it's kind of like the backlash I've been getting on TikTok, where people are like, wait, you're not undocumented? I'm like, undocumented is a long, like I was undocumented most of my life. I just got this status and I'm in jeopardy of losing it again. People fall in and out of status all the time. So that's where my fear is like, what's going to happen to me? I don't know, and most of my life I have been undocumented. So when I started doing TikTok, my name on TikTok was Guerrero. And when I started talking about like all the things that happened to me undocumented, the things that are going to happen to me in the future, I didn't know how to make the jokes. So I came up with my undocumented ass, like when somebody says like, my dumb ass didn't know how to do that.
Yeah.
I came up with a joke like, my undocumented ass couldn't go to college, which is true. My undocumented ass couldn't get a job for a long time. So I just kept the tag to make the joke about me instead of like making fun of other people. So that's why I want people to know that, like, the immigration system is so confusing that it's like I'm in limbo. Somebody said, like, yes, I am in limbo right now. I am better than some, but I'm still in jeopardy.
Okay, so this was a question in the chat. They're just a little confused. You're not a DACA recipient.
No.
Okay.
I have family members who are. Yes.
Could you tell a little bit about your story? Like how long you're Dominican, correct?
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
I'm Dominican as well. Mi primo. What's it called? So like, yeah, what was your childhood like? Like at what point did you come to the United States, if you don't mind sharing?
Oh yeah. So I came here when I was 6 years old, because my mother was trying to get away from my abusive father. So she like literally came up with a plan where my grandmother would sneak us out of the country. But at the time we had a visa. So I had a 1-year visa. Me and my sister, my grandmother, we came here to escape from my father, and then we overstayed our visa. So that was the first time I became undocumented.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, from like 7 till about 21, I was like undocumented. You know, at that point you get like overstay. When you're 18, like it's different because then it's like you have overstay after you turn 18, so 180. It's a very confusing thing. So basically, once I turned 18, that's really when the problem started.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get like a work permit till I was 21, lost that work permit. Then I got married like way later on, like at 26. Like at 24, 25, yeah.
To a U.S. citizen?
Yeah, to a U.S. citizen, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I already lost my visa, so that's the first time I became undocumented. Then I got a work permit,
Mm-hmm.
and then I became undocumented again. So then until I was 26, I didn't get married. Then I got my green card, right, close to 30. But then now, 2 years ago, the U.S. government found something about me, and now they're gonna take it away. So it's like
They could do that?
Yeah.
Even if you're married?
Well, we got divorced.
Oh, okay,
So,
okay.
See, it's what I call moving the goalpost, you know. So if you get married and you last 2 years with your wife, you get your full everything within 2 years. But we got divorced. So because I got divorced, they moved it to 5 years. So they moved it on me, you know. So
damn.
And then in that time, the U.S. government found out that I had done some stuff, and like people always go, oh, at so and so lawyer, and I've talked to a lot of lawyers on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
The advice down the board that made me be like, so I'm not out of this, you know, I'm still like, they said these two things. They were like, one, you're very lucky to have gotten this far, but you shouldn't have the status you have.
Mm-hmm.
And two, you should give up your status and start all over. And that means either self-deport or, you know, give up my green card and get married again. And then hopefully the things that they found out, I have to tell you know, because it's weird.
There's pardons and stuff, right? Like you gotta write letters. There's like pardons, like shit that you have to like write, like please forgive me and stuff.
Yes. So because I made it this far and I didn't ask for the please forgive me. This is how fucking brutal. They're like, if you start over and then you ask for permission how you were supposed to, we will give you the citizenship. I'm like, you guys are such assholes.
Yeah.
Like, because I came this far without revealing everything, you're gonna take everything away. So you're gonna make me start over so I can tell you the thing you already know.
Bro, that is fuck, man. It's like they just want you to hop through hoops to see who like will just keep going and who will fall off.
Exactly, and that's where like a lot of people who have come on my TikTok recently be like, "Wait, you're not undocumented? Why'd you name my undocumented ass?" I'm like, first of all, I started as a joke to keep the jokes on myself. Like anything that, if any comedian ever, anybody ever wants to be a comedian, you'll learn that the first rule is to use the word I.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because you don't know who in the audience is going through the same issue. So you go, you know, I like eating a lot of ice cream. I like doing this. I like doing that. You know what I mean? So then that way the audience can laugh and the joke's on you. So when I started doing TikTok, it was like, my undocumented ass couldn't go to college. My undocumented ass couldn't do this. I just kept the joke on me. And that's where like I feel like now the joke's gone on so long that people don't know who I am.
My bad. I was just checking something again. Shit, my bad. Can you just repeat that last thing? I accidentally, I'm so used to this shit that I accidentally blocked somebody on here, and I was like, oh shit, I accidentally blocked like the person I'm not supposed to block. And what's it called? My bad. Can you just repeat that last part?
So I was saying, so that's where like a lot of like the TikTok world is like doing trying to do like a gotcha on me because they're like, you know, oh, what, your name's my undocumented ass.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, see, like I was trying to explain to you, like in the world of stand-up comedy, you use the word I a lot, like, because you don't know who in the audience is going through the same thing. So you go like, you know, I eat a lot of ice cream, or God, I'm terrible at this. So when I started doing TikToks, I was like, my undocumented ass couldn't do this.
Yeah.
So many people were like, God, I love that phrase. that I was like, oh, it's a fun phrase. I'm gonna change my TikTok name to My Undocumented As, and I feel like now my fans aren't aware of my full story, so like some of them feel like they're being lied to, and I'm like, no. I'm in a very precarious situation.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if you felt, it was just somebody said use the name, and I was like, it is a fun name, right? I came up with a fun little, like you might be a redneck type line, but
yeah.
The world has now used it as a way to get me.
Damn, man. I saw one comment, there's obviously going to be a lot of Trump supporters and shit that get real riled up by the shit that you say. And, how do you deal with that stuff? Do you like comment back? Do you just try and ignore it? Like, I've been trying myself to stay off of Twitter, man. Like, I've been really, these last few days, I've been like, why am I spending so much time on Twitter fighting back and forth with people I don't know? But it's like and I told my wife the other day, I was like, yo, it's a really bad habit of mine, but I enjoy it. Like, I enjoy fighting with people, and I enjoy dunking on dumb motherfuckers. But like, so, how do you try and ignore the comments? You just stay out of the comment sections?
You know what? You might have just given me a much better thing, because you know what? I don't fret too much on the Trump supporters and the white racists in my comments, because to me, they're the ones that I'm fighting every day. You know what I mean? But I do get so like answering the comments of people, like I said, people who are like, explain this to me about your history. And then I'm like, I get into like a 5-comment thread about my trauma of being undocumented. I'm like, wait, why am I spending so much time explaining my trauma? You know what I mean? Like that, I get caught up in those comments way too much.
Yeah, bro. And like, and it sucks because you're putting your heart out there, you're putting it all out there, and like, it could be just a troll. It could just be like a fake profile with somebody who's just trying to start shit and trying to get people heated. Like, that's the worst part about the internet. It's just like, there are so many people out there who got nothing else to do but to just try and like get under your skin.
Yeah. And also, like, when one guy, was actually like throwing like, hey, he actually sent a cease and desist letter to me. You know what I mean? And he was like, hey, I'm going to take this further. I'm going to sue you.
Because you used his content somehow?
Huh?
You used his content?
Yeah, he was doing a lot of terrible things to the undocumented community. And I made like, but mind you, I didn't find this guy on my own. A lot of people on the internet was like, hey, this guy's doing this. And because, I'm one of the bigger TikTokers who talks about undocumented issues, he saw me as like, oh crap, this guy's talking about me. This means something. So he personally came after me like, hey, he threw lawyers at me. He brought everything, he's like, I'm going to sue you, and then, I started going online saying, hey, this guy's doing stuff to me. And I realized like, nobody's actually going to go to court with me.
Nah.
You know what I mean? Nobody's actually going to probably give to my GoFundMe if I have to like, get a lawyer to fight this guy. So, as fun as this is, you have to be very smart, because like at the end of the day, if somebody's suing you or something like that, it's just you, man.
That's it.
It's just you they're coming after. They're not coming after my 190,000 followers. Most of my TikToks don't even reach 190,000 followers, so not everybody's watching it.
Yeah. So man, it's just you in court there, and you bear all the consequences.
All the consequences, you know what I mean? And that's the thing too, like, I go to therapy, and my therapist was very much like, yo, she saw my TikTok. She was like, I respect what you're doing.
Yeah.
But realize that you do have immigration issues. And if you end up in a hole, like, your community might not back you because they're afraid of ending up in the hole with you. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, so you also have a very fragile community you're serving who can't really fully get behind you. And I was like, that's actually a very solid point.
So has that made you a little bit more reserved in like the stuff you say online?
It has. It really has, because this guy coming after me, I have issues with my status. I realize like I'm not like an Aunt Karen or these Dinesh people who are like citizens. You know what I mean? That if like somebody like does something to them or whatever, like they can whatever get a ticket or whatever. But for me, like, even the green card holders, we have to play a very fine line with traffic court, and I can't even get a weed card, or else I'm forever banned from becoming a citizen forever.
God damn.
I just found this out last night. So here's a little tip for anybody who's an immigrant or an undocumented person. If you ever get arrested for weed, you can ask for forgiveness and you can still become a citizen. If you ever get a weed card while you're not a citizen, you can never become a citizen, because a weed card tells them you have a habit.
Oh shit, what, man? And that's fucked up because they're the ones legalizing it.
Exactly.
It's a trap door.
And to get a weed card, you have to go to a doctor. You have to so if an immigrant or an undocumented person goes through all the steps to properly get documentation, it prevents them from ever becoming a citizen.
That's fucked, man. And I imagine there are just so many little loopholes like that they throw in there just to really weed people out like that, man. And like,
and you said it perfectly. It's you hear my story and just like I'm one story and it sounds kind of exhausting. It sounds like almost like I'm making things up, but like no, it's I have constant panic attacks about I don't know what my next move is. Like, I don't know to step forward or go backwards. Which one's gonna hurt me less? Every day I literally wake up, go like, okay, I'm okay for another year. We'll see then.
And I gotta ask, man, like you said you moved here when you were 6. Like, have you thought of like what your life would be like if you did have to go back to Dominican Republic? Like at this point you've lived the majority of your life in the United States. Like, that's what's so wild about it.
I'm a very, very, very unique case. So I know that if I happen to, God forbid, for some reason get deported tomorrow, I know that with my comedic styles and my writing abilities, that I think I'd be able to bounce back in DR. And and because like I've seen they have a great stand-up comedy scene, and I actually have family members who are in entertainment in very small ways where I can figure out my own, and I think about that all the time. But really the only fear I have of being deported is my children with autism. I have 2 boys with autism, and that's really like, if any fight is left in me to continue with this immigration system, it's because of them. It's because unfortunately Dominican Republic doesn't have the services that 2 children with autism will get from a public school here in America. Yeah,
of course.
That's sometimes like I sometimes I get so angry with this country, you know what I mean? Like I'm a history buff, so I know a lot about the atrocities of this country. But then you just like, fuck, I am living in one of the few places where, my kids can get the help for the autism that they have, and it gets me angry,
Of course, man. Yeah, and somebody just said it right here in the chat. Undocumented folks definitely have to live by stricter standards. Like, there's just a lot of things that me, like, I'm first generation born here. So my parents came from Dominican Republic when they were like 20. I was born here, so I'm a citizen. Very grateful for that. Like, there are so many things throughout my teenage years that I was just going around and like I had no worry in the world. If I got caught by the cops, like, they'd take me home. That would suck, but it's never that type of mentality. And like, when's the last time you went to Dominican Republic? Like, just to visit?
When I was 6.
When you were 6? God damn, bro.
No, honestly, dude, even when I got my green card, I went to Canada for 2 days and came back. Like, I was freaking out, dude, because I knew that because when I got my green card, I knew I lied, you know what I mean? So I was kind of like chilling until I got that citizenship, and then but
it came back.
Yeah, it came back. I was really scared, and I knew it was gonna come back. Yeah, but I was young, and here's the thing too. Like, here's something. If I can tell anybody this, that I don't think anybody will understand this. When you grow up undocumented, you have to be a liar. My mother, from when I was 6, would tell me, make up a lie about where you were born. So literally, have you ever seen The Dark Knight?
Yeah.
Like how the Joker has like 4 different stories on how he got the scar.
Yeah. You have to keep telling different ones.
I told different stories. Like, want to know how I was born? Just different stories of how I was born and where I was born. But I was always in America. I was born in Mount Sinai. I was born in Jamaica Hospital. I was born in, and you just become so accustomed to lying that genuinely, dude, I became a pathological liar. Up until about 29. Bro, I would tell you that my sweater is red, even though you see black, just to see if I can get one over on you.
Bro, it becomes survival instincts. You're just like, I gotta do this or else like I'm getting in trouble.
And it just became so hard to tell the truth that yeah. So then finally, by the time I started telling the truth and started like living by this moral code, that my next battle with the immigration system, I fucking caved and told the truth.
Damn.
When I should have just lied.
Yeah.
And that's what the immigration system sometimes fuck you. When you tell the truth, it fucks you worse.
And and I know, because like I've helped different family members throughout different citizenship processes and different residency processes, it's always kind of like they tell you, like, at least my family was always like very adamant about tell the truth the whole time, because they're gonna find out, the government's gonna find out, and like that shit would scare the fuck out of me, right? Because like I was mainly doing paperwork for them, because like my family's not that tech savvy, so I was the one on the internet, like doing all the forms, writing all the shit out for my mom and stuff, and I was like, oh fuck, what if I put something down by accident and the government finds out? And like it really like traumatized me, because I was like, I gotta do everything perfect.
Oh
and
my God.
you know, and that's something that wasn't even the process for me. So I completely understand any undocumented people out there who are doing it themselves and English isn't their first language. Like that shit is a whole other story. And like, if I could just read some comments in here, we got some really good stuff here. Spike Gaming on Twitch said, I'm trying to get my green card right now. It's a pain. It's super expensive and it's not even guaranteed that I will get my card. I'm 11,000 in right now. Might get rejected despite all the work and money that I put into it.
So sorry, brother. I'm so sorry. Yeah.
And then someone asked, why is it that there are some immigrants who seem to have a more clear path to citizenship or residency than others? Because the immigration process is so complex and there are just so many different ways to get that. Like, what do you think about that?
You know, it's luck. It's prestige. I mean, I'll tell you one thing. It's also pretty privileged. You know, I'm not trying to like shit on someone, but this is a perfect example of like a story that like you wouldn't believe if I told you, but like it happened. Like, so this very attractive girl from Latin America met a comedian friend of mine at a show. They fell in love. Mm-hmm. He married her. They did their process. He took her to the immigration hearing, and they told me this story like it was a funny story, but it made me feel like so angry. Because they were like, yo, the immigration official fell in love with her. Like, he was like, yo, you're so hot. You're fucking hot. Like, you're not even gonna have to wait that long.
Damn.
Like, yo, she got her green card with like 5 months. And then just within that, they had all the process and she became a citizen, the full on, like, so she was like, yo, he wanted to fuck me right there, yo. And that's how I got my green card. I was like, yeah, why did you even get married to that guy? You should have just got the immigration court and ordered that guy from the beginning. You know what I mean? So it's like it's madness, bro. It's madness.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like some people do have clear paths where they get married and they get married to someone who has a lot of money. And like me, like, dude, I'm telling you, 3 fucking Charlie Brown kicks with the football I've done. And every time I end up on my back and I go, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like I'll never even forget the last time I went to the immigration lawyer. Like it was a white woman, and when she found out that I cannot become a citizen, that she was the one who broke the news to me of what happened. I told her, I was like, but I want to become a citizen so I can like become a mayor or a senator. You know, even after you become a citizen, you still have to wait 7 years before you can run. I know it's crazy. I'm not gonna be a senator, but you know, but I had these passions, you know. And this white lady just looked right at me and goes, then forget those passions.
Oh, no.
Just forget my hopes and dreams that I've been planning for 10 years, that I finally thought I was here. Just that's it. Just you know, oh, I'm sorry, white lady. Sorry for telling you my dreams of maybe changing my community.
She's like, maybe
run for office. Cool for you. Cool with you. Sorry.
She's like, get some new dreams.
Get some new dreams, man. You know what your dreams should be? A green card that's not gonna fucking get you deported. That should be your dream. Start on the moment, boy.
Damn, man, that's fucked, man. And I know you gotta head out soon, so just one last question. Yeah. You know,
thank you people for the comments, by the way. They're very kind to help me get some of my feelings out and talk to me about theirs, man. I really appreciate that.
Hey, man, I hope that you come back on the podcast when we have more time, because like I said, this was the first time that I did it on YouTube and Twitch. So there's so many comments that I'm missing right now, and I see people like that are also sharing their stories, and I'm like, damn, I want to get to all this so we can all talk about this, but I know you got to head out soon. Last question, man. How have you felt about you know, the Biden administration and their approach to immigration so far? Because I saw one video where you were like, you know, when you're undocumented, you look at the elections, you can't vote, and you're like, things could stay bad or they can get even shittier. They can't get good. There's no option for good. So like, how has that been, man?
You know, I can put 2 things aside. I can say, one, Biden has brought us out of a little bit of that crazy Trump MAGA world. Not completely, but a little bit of it. But unfortunately, you know, with the student loan, everything he's done, climate change is great. But with the immigrant community, completely has failed. And I don't know what it is about immigration issues that for Democrats and Republicans, we can be the villains and the good guys in the same breath.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like for Republicans, Latino people from Mexico are coming in, that whole speech. At the same time, look how much Latinos voted for Republican, and they love us for that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Democrats, it's like we love, immigrants. We want to pass a bill, but let's give ICE more money. You know what I mean? It's like it's this fucking bullshit that we're that third rail of politics where they can come to us when they want to scare the people, and they come to us when they need their economy to get fixed. But when it comes to generally helping us, nobody wants to fucking do it.
Mm-hmm. And
that's where my frustration is. Biden tried to put a bill in front of Congress the first 3 weeks of his administration and then forgot about it. And every immigration reform that he tries to do, somehow immigration can get very easily blocked by any judge in the country.
Yeah.
And just some judge fucking has a fucking constipation that day, just fucking angry and fucking cranky and hates immigrants. Fuck it. Title 42 is back on. I gotta go take a shit. Fucking, you know what I mean? Like, it's that simple to fuck all of our progress up.
Yeah, man. Oh, man, I gotta have you back on. I need to have you back on. We're out of time, unfortunately. I know you gotta get out of here, man, but like that is beautiful, man. And I have some great homies in the chat who live down in Austin, Texas. They're both immigration lawyers, both fantastic people. And I know that like if we had just like a good panel, like we could really talk about a lot of stuff. One of them does a podcast where he's always constantly talking about like how these judges sometimes their bias is just so blatantly clear that it's like, how do y'all get away with this? Like, how is this system set up where there are some biases on people that are just so fucking obvious that they just don't want to see brown people around? Like, it's fucked up, man.
Absolutely.
Hey, man, if you got any last things to say, any things you want to plug in there, please do drop it. You've been a pleasure to have, man.
Just check out my podcast, my Undocumented Ass Podcast, and my TikTok. And I am working on a little project, so hopefully maybe by next year people can see it on TV. So let's keep our fingers crossed. Just send good vibes my way.
Hey, of course, bro. And like I said, I would love to have you back on. Definitely gonna reach out. Let's try and plan something in the future. And I will post all the links. Yeah, I'll post all the links in the description. You were a pleasure, bro.
Hey, thank you so much for letting me talk to you, man. I appreciate it.
Hey, have a great night, man. Take care.
You too. Bye-bye.